Well, this is the Cobra M46C, which is a 18-inch petrol push rotary mower, and this is how it arrives when you get it in this strong cardboard box. So what I'm going to do is just take the tape off, and then we can unpack it and we'll get it onto the bench here, and I'll show you how to put it together, get it fueled up, ready for mowing your lawn. So there it is, all unpacked, the wrapping taken off, so we can put it together. There's not a great deal to do with this mower. It's mainly the handlebar assembly and then oil and fuel. So first thing we need to do is to put the handlebars on, and we need to take these nuts and bolts out that are put on in the factory. So we've got a nut and bolt, and then there's a couple of washers on there. So we need to take all of those off. We've got a flat washer, spring washer, and the nut and the bolt. 2 at this side and 2 at the other side. So there for there. You do need a 13mm spanner just to be able to tighten them up again. So that's the only tool that you need. And the other thing we need to do, on the end here, you'll see there's some protective caps. They're just put on to stop it scratching in transit. So again, just pull those off, you don't need those. So then it's a case of getting the handlebar like this and folding that down. And the way to do this, if you've got 2 people, it's much easier, but if you haven't, then what we can do is we can make this into almost like an AE frame. So we can push that down there, so I can position these like this. And we want it so that they clip into there, and you can see the holes line up. And then it's a case of, we put the bolt in from the inside out. So just line up that hole so that that fits through there, and the bolts have got a square just there, so that locks it into position when we slide it through from this angle into there. So just give it a bit of a wiggle to make sure it fits through and lock it into position. And then what we can do with it is the flat washer on first, the split washer, and then we can put on the hexagonal nut. Just do it finger tight to start with, repeat that there, flat washer, spring washer, hexagonal nut, and then you need your 13mm spanner just to tighten those on, and because it's locked at the back, you only need the 1 spanner. Okay, so just nice and tight onto that spring washer. That prevents it from vibrating off, and then we repeat that on the opposite side. There, so nice and firm there, and then it's simply a case of lifting this piece into position, and this is all ready, got the handles on there. It's just a case then of tightening those up so they just lift and lock it into position like that, and that's that ready to go. One more thing though, we've got 2 cable clips because we don't want these cables to be flapping around, so we can just put these into position, put the clip on there. I find it easier to actually put the cable inside the clip first and then just put it on like that. So it's just very simple, clip over the cable and then it will clip down over the handlebar. So they're all in position and ready to go. So all we need now is to put some fuel in there and oil. What I've done is just flipped it round now so that you can see where I'm going to put the oil into the engine. When they arrive, they've got no petrol or oil in, so you must fuel them up before you attempt to start the mower, otherwise you're going to do lots of damage. And with the introduction of the new E10 petrol, it's really important that you use fresh petrol and don't leave it in the tank too long, and you can get a fuel stabilizer as well, just to make sure your mower runs nice and smoothly. So we've got some fresh petrol here. So this is the fuel cap at the top. So we're just going to pour some of this fresh petrol into there. Okay. And then the oil. Now the oil filler is round this side here. The mower comes with the oil that you need, and this size engine needs 600 millilitres. So we've got the bottle of oil here that holds 0.6 of a litre, but it's a good idea, rather than pouring it all in, put most of it in and then check the dipstick. These engines have been tested in the factory, so there may be a residue of oil in there and we don't want to put too much in. So just take off the oil cap and the dipstick there, and then we can pour our oil into it. So got the oil there, and it's just a case of gently pouring that nice clean oil down into the sump. So we put the oil in virtually everything for the time being, but I'm just going to test it. So just let the oil settle for a minute and then get the dipstick, screw it back in and have a look. Now this is new oil, so it's really difficult to see, but I can see that the level is on this little cross hatching at the base of the dipstick, not quite to the top. So I'm going to put just a little bit more, because ideally we want the oil to be at this level here. That is the maximum level. So just a little bit more in there, and then we know that it's ready to go. I'm just going to give that a second just to drain down. Always wipe the dipstick as well before you dip it again, and then put it in. And I can see now that is perfect. The oil is to that point there where my fingernail is. So that's it, ready to go. So dipstick back in nice and tight so it doesn't vibrate out. We've got the petrol in there and we're ready to go. So we're ready to start mowing. So first thing, if we want to collect the grass, we've got our grass collection bag, which is already assembled when you get it. So what we do is lift up the flap at the back, and the grass box simply hooks over the back like that. That holds it firmly in place, and then the flap stops it falling off. And then on this side here, we've got the adjuster to raise and lower the cutting deck. When you get it out of the box, it's always on the lowest setting, just so that it fits in the box in transit. We never start the mower when it's low like that. It's just going to damage the grass and strain the engine. So it's a good idea to lift it up so that we've got some fresh air below the deck. So we've done that. The only other thing we need to do is, this is a recoil pull here. So what we need to do is just pull in this lever here to take some of the compression off the engine, and just very slowly pull that up, and we're going to hook it into this little gadget just here. It means that when you start the mower in the future, instead of having to bend down to pull it up, you can stand and do it from this position. Starting is very simple indeed. We've got a lever on the front there. We need to pull that lever back in order to start the engine, and as soon as we want to stop it, we just release it. So it's a safety feature there. And we've got on this side the choke. We need a choke with this. Two positions, one to choke when we're starting from cold, and then we knock the choke off when we're in the running mode. So I'm going to pull that back and give it a pull. Bear in mind, when it's brand new, it can take a couple of pulls to get fuel through the carburetor, but after that it should go on the first pull. There we go, and we're ready to mow. So there you have it. That's the Cobra M46C, which is an 18-inch petrol mower. Really easy to use. Enjoy mowing your garden with it.
Remember to register your Cobra online at www.cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.